Hi everyone, my name is Danish Ajaz and today I'll be going over my structured code walkthrough on a Python program that I created. I created this specific program using Python's idle installer, and the purpose of this program is to simply get the user to type in input and have the program generate the amount of the discount and total price after the discount based on what the user enters. And one quick note here, everything that you see here that's in red are comments. And for me, I feel that commenting code is a very helpful way to explain my code. And this is something that the program will not look at, right? And these comments just make the code stand out and make it more readable. All right, so let's get right into the program. So a software company sells packages that retail for $99. Quantity discounts are given according to the following table. So if the quantity is from 10 to 19, discount is 10%. 20 to 49, 20%, 59 to 99, 30%, 100 or more is 40%. And it says to write a program that asks the user to enter the number of packages purchased. The program should then display the amount of the discount, if any, and the total amount of the purchase after the discount. Right, so in this problem, basically what they're saying is to give discounts based on what the user enters, based on the amount of packages the user enters. So first what I did was I started with asking the user to enter the number of packages purchased. I used an input function, which basically asked the user to input how many packages they want to buy. Now, the input function always returns a string, and in this case, it will also return a string, but what we want is the number of packages purchased. So what I did was I added an int outside of the input function, and what that does is it converts everything the user types, which is originally a string, into an integer value. Now, once we have that integer value, we need somewhere to store it. So what I did was I created a variable called num of packages. And so that will store the integer the user types. Then the next line, I printed a new line character. This is something that it's a good way to keep your output organized, and I use it quite often. It makes it easier to see the output more readable. Then you see here I have another variable named retail price, which is set equal to 99, which represents the retail of 99 up here. Then we get into the actual package checking. So this is where we can go ahead to test and see what package quantity range the user's choice falls into, right? Whether it's 10 to 19, 20 to 49, 50 to 99, or 100 or more. Right, and that is basically, that's this chunk of code right here. Right, so whatever quantity range the user's choice falls into, the program will give the appropriate discount, whether it's 10%, 20%, 30%, or 40%. And so I did this part using if statements, elif statements, and one else statement. You can see here I said, if num of packages is less than 10, the discount is equal to 0. Now, you don't see that on the table above. And I did this because it covers the out of range values a user may enter. Right, and as you can see, there is no discount that's listed for any quantity less than 10. Right, it's not on the table. And it's not really required that you do this, and it's not really a big deal, but it is applied in the real world. Now, next I made an elif statement. I said elif number of packages is less than 20. You have a discount which is equal to 10% or 0.1. Right now, in Python, this specific installer is not aware of the percentage symbol, and it will throw a syntax error if it sees it within the code. So if I was to put in 10% over here, and if I was to run this, you see that it shows a syntax error, right? So it's best to just change it to a decimal form. So 0.1. Right now, if the number is not less than 10, and if it's not less than 20, then we're dealing with numbers that are greater than 20. But next, we only want to include packages from the range 20 to 49. So, where to go? Right here. So I said elif number of packages less than 50. You have a discount which is equal to 20% or 0.2. Now the next range is 50 to 99. We don't want everything above 50, right? So I said elif number of packages less than 100. You have a discount which is equal to 30% or 0.3. Now, if the number is not in any of those ranges, if a user enters a number of packages that is not in any of those ranges, that leaves the very last option, which is if a user inputs a number greater than or equal to 100, giving them a discount of 40%. And as you can see here, I put an else statement for that line of code. And what an else statement basically does is it contains the line of code which executes when the other expressions are not true or when there's a false value, right? So else statements are only used as sort of a last resort when the user doesn't enter any of the other choices. Then this command is usually done using an else statement. So in this case, all I said was else discount is equal to 40% or 0.4. Okay, so now that we figured out the discount for each package, we can go ahead and set up some calculations. I created a subtotal variable here, and this is without any discount for each package, and we can go ahead and set it equal to number of packages, which is multiplied, which is multiplied by the retail price. And then I have the discount amount variable, which is equal to the discount multiplied by the subtotal, right? So this variable will take the discount, right, which is either 10%, 20%, 30%, or 40%, and it will multiply by the subtotal. Then the next variable I have is the total variable, which displays how much the user will pay without the discount. So total is equal to subtotal minus the discount amount. So now that we have the values stored in the variables, we can go ahead and print them. Okay, so quick recap on what we did so far. So the program will start by asking the user to enter the number of packages purchased, right? And we have different quantities that will give different amounts of the discount, right? And it says, write a program that asks the user to enter the number of packages purchased. Okay, we did that. The program should then display the amount of the discount, if any, and the total amount of the purchase after the discount, right? So let's move on to that part. Where where we have to display the amount of the discount, if any. So that's this line of code right here. So what I did was I printed the discount amount with a $sign as a string, and I added a format function which takes in two different arguments. The first one is what you want formatted, and the second argument is how you want it formatted. Now, because the discount amount variable is a float, I typed in an F right here, the second variable, in the second argument. And I want it formatted to 2 decimal places, right? So I put a 0.2F. So basically what I'm saying in this line of code is that I want to format the discount amount variable to 2 decimal places. Right now, the very last line of code is where I displayed the total amount. Right, the total amount of the purchase after the discount will be equal to the total variable, right? And it's the exact same process as what we did right here. The only difference is the total amount here and the first argument variable right here. Here it's discount amount, here it's total. And that's basically it. And if I was to run this, enter the number of packages purchased, let's say, for example, 31. And you can see how it runs showing the discount amount and the total amount. And we could try one more. Let's try 100. And you see it works. And you could even see what happens. You see how I mentioned if the number of packages is less than 10. We could see what happens if we were to put in a package number which is less than 10. Let's try 6. Right, so you see how it gives a discount amount of 0. And it still returns the total amount, right? So in this case, 6 times 99 will give a subtotal of 594, which will result in the total also being 594 because there is no discount amount, right? So that's basically it. Anyway, it's not a lot of code, but it's one that I worked on and finished successfully. And yeah, I hope you learned something new today, and thanks for watching.